go.
Yeah. Westminster Abbey is the coronation church. It's where every coronation since 1066 has happened.
Hell. Is it?
Every king and queen have been crowned. Well, apart from two who didn't make it.
What do you mean?
Well, one of them was made to disappear.
Yeah.
Edward V, one of the princes in the tower,
Oh yes.
didn't live long enough. Was murdered by someone. And so he didn't get a coronation. And Edward VIII is the other one, 1936. Edward and Mrs. Simpson abdicated because he wanted to marry a divorcee, and the people, Parliament, wouldn't accept it.
The people or Parliament?
Well, Parliament said they spoke for the people.
Well, of course.
And
of course.
What the people would have thought. Well, in 1936, people thought differently than what they do now.
Yeah.
Now we've got an heir to the throne who's divorced and married a divorcee, so it's not nearly such a big deal now.
Who's that?
Well, it's Prince Charles and Camilla.
Oh yeah.
So divorce isn't the issue it was, isn't it? It used to be. Yeah, we're cool. We're up at the top.
Yeah, up at the top.
Yeah.
This is a rooftops tour of London. This is like a Mary Poppins dream. Chim chimney.
Chim chimney, chim chiroo.
It looks like Hogwarts though, doesn't it?
I wonder if they got the idea from Hogwarts from this, or if they got the idea for Assassin's Creed from Hogwarts.
Well, I wonder what's been there longer.
There's a little spiky building down on the left-hand side.
Yes.
When this was a monastery, because the abbey was the chapel of the monastery originally, been a monastery since at least 960. The little building that we're going to peer down on, that one, that was the chapter house of the monastery.
I don't know what that is.
Well, we're going past it. Bye. Oh, no, here we are. Every morning, after the morning prayers, the monks would go to the chapter house, and the prior, like the chief monk, would choose a chapter from the book of St. Benedict. It was a Benedictine abbey. And he would read a chapter from the book of rules that Benedict had written. And I imagine that he would choose the chapter carefully in a passive-aggressive kind of way of telling off the monks for what they've been doing wrong. Point out the rule that they need to know about. Here we are, coming down the side of the chapter house. And you can still go in it now.
Can you?
Yeah.
I wonder if we can go in it. Probably not.
Maybe.
Doesn't look like there's
Doesn't look like there's a door.
No.
Looks like there's a couple of blokes snogging in the corner. Just round the back of that pillar.
What? I want to see him. That's a chip. That's a gardener. Oh yeah. Oh, it's definitely snogging.
Definitely snogging. Definitely that.
Look disapprovingly at them.
He's not impressed, is he? She's just having a puff on a cigarette.
Yeah, no door to the chapter
No
house.
door to the chapter house. Wow, they really don't want us to go in there.
I guess when they were making Assassin's Creed, they didn't think anyone would want to go and read a chapter from the Bible.
From the Book of St. Benedict.
That's what I meant. Yes.
We're going to be allowed.
Okay. Recognise this tall building?
This is the Sovereign's entrance to the Houses of Parliament. Once a year, the Queen, or whoever the Sovereign is, turns up, and her or his carriage arrives first with the imperial state crown, soon after which rocks up
they climb up this
her or
guy.
His Majesty. That statue is not there. I'm afraid the statue is made up, or if it's not made up, it's been taken down.
Yeah, maybe.
This is where the Sovereign comes in.
Sovereign comes in here.
And goes to the robing chamber,
Cool.
gets their robes put on, and then used to put the crown on her head. But now she just kind of like tucks it under her arm and takes it into the House of Lords chamber, and gives a big speech, and then goes home. Job done. Cup of tea. Put your feet up.
Yeah. It's a wild building, isn't it? I mean, even in the game, it's pretty wild.
Well, wild and meant to. I mean, it wasn't very old.
Yeah.
The year's 1868 when we were playing the game.
Yeah.
But it was only finished in the 1850s. But designed, like look at the tops of the building there. It looks really kind of
like
knobbly. It's Gothic. It's Gothic architecture. It's like Victorian, taking the Gothic style, the pointy windows, and just like going over the top.
Victorians doing.
Yeah.
Retro.
Uber. Yeah, it's a Victorian retro. And saying our culture, our nation is rooted deep in history, and we know where our laws come from. How's the Parliament laws?
So what was the Houses of Parliament before?
Well, there had been a Houses of Parliament there before, but it burnt down. Burnt down in a fire. Only
Didn't
one.
get blown up.
No.
That
No.
one failed.
You're thinking of Guy Fawkes trying to blow it up.
Yeah.
In 1605 and failing. Can't blow up our Houses of Parliament.
Bloody Robin.
Discover something. Good kickage.
Silk, metal, and money.
Did we get it?
Yeah, we got it.
Man,
It's ours now.
You got it without really kind of stooping down even.
I suppose there's not still.
Should we buy a tomato?
I don't think we have that.
We're not that.
No.
No, we're assassins. We don't go around buying.
We don't do groceries. So I don't know this. Is this the palaces of Westminster?
This is the Palace of Westminster.
What
Originally a royal palace. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, it was a royal palace, and gradually it was given over to the representatives of the people. And so it's still known as the Palace of Westminster, but it's no longer a royal palace. It's like the People's Palace.
Sure.
And the Houses, plural, of Parliament, the House of Commons and the House of Lords, are inside the Palace of Westminster.
Right.
All burnt down.
All burnt down, all built up again.
Yeah, mostly burnt down, all built up again. 1850s.
Cool. That's a very concise answer. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, including the rebuild included Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Looking up at Big Ben at 5 to 8 in the morning.
I think it might be.
Or do you think it's 5 to 8 in the evening already?
It's getting dark.
Wow,
It was only
5 to 8
morning,
in the evening.
not that long ago, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
They just fly by, don't they? When you're an
We're
assassin
so
roaming
good at
London.
Jumping from one place to another.
That is my
we're going up.
specialty. We're going up.
Man, Jacob, you're a tough guy. The abs on him must be extraordinary.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, up to the top of Big Ben. This is like Basil the Great Mouse Detective territory,
It is.
isn't it?
It is.
There's back to Westminster Abbey. Look back.
Back to Westminster Abbey. There it is. I mean, it's just
so.
they just look
So
like
the connection between the two is
Yeah.
the church was really, really important. It was the coronation church, and then the palace was built here to be near to the church, all on a little bit of dry land surrounded by swamp. And then the palace became the place for the representatives of the people. And now this is very much like the government part of London. Downing Street is nearby, and all the big ministries and government departments are all around here.
Oh, there you go.
But it all began with the church, the monastery.
Yeah, sorry, I'm listening.
Were you really paying attention to my political history?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you what you just said.
But you've been doing it. Whoa, man!
It's a long way down.
Is there a bag of leaves at the bottom?
I think there's a bag of leaves at the bottom. I think we have to climb higher to find it.
Whoa! Come on, let's finish this with a bag of leaves.
Off we go. Swan dive.
See the clock? There goes the clock. Yeah.